The big PlayStation showcase just happened, and the reception online was this event was pretty underwhelming. Let's break down everything that was just announced. Up next. What up guys, this is Kalo and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content, drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. So, multiple video game insiders said this was the showcase to show off the next stage of the PS5. Did it meet those expectations? Well, let's get into that. And coming out of that showcase, I was pretty curious as to what exactly did those insiders hear or see that led them to believe that. Don't get me wrong, I for one thought there were some pretty cool titles announced here, but what really stood out to me was the glaring absence of PlayStation Studios. A game I thought was as equal of a lock as Spider-Man 2 was The Last of Us Factions, and we heard not one peep from Naughty Dog. They stated this game will come out this year, but as the days move on, this really doesn't seem likely. A game that I see a lot of people talking about online is Death Stranding 2. And like I stated in my rumor roundup video for this showcase, I think we get further word on this title at Summer Games Fest. Now, I'm not going to run through every title that was announced here just for the sake of time, but titles like Fair Games from Haven Studios, which appears to be this heist-based, Payday-esque title, and Firewalk's upcoming title called Concord all got cinematic trailers that lacked one major thing, and that's gameplay. I want to clarify that cinematic trailers are pretty damn great, but I feel like those are more well suited for titles we already know about, such as Assassin's Creed or even Spider-Man. That reason being, we know how each of these franchises play and feel, so sequels to them shouldn't really be too far off the course. But when it comes to Fair Games and Concord, it's hard to get excited for a game that you really have no idea how it plays. In a stark comparison, a game that I think did a great job of blending cinematics with actual gameplay is a title like Helldivers 2. And while we're talking about games like Helldivers and Fair Games, it appears Sony is releasing those games on the PC, which backs speculation from multiple gaming YouTubers that live service games will be getting ported to the PC on day one. All while those big first-party titles will be getting ported over far after its initial release. And since we're talking about ports and platforms, there was a ton of confusion online as to where Alan Wake 2, Metal Gear, Immortals Avium, and Ghost Runner 2 will be launching. Of course, this is a PlayStation showcase, so they're going to be launching on PlayStation, but in a pretty funny troll job by Xbox, they tweeted out that those games will be coming to Xbox as well shortly after that showcase ended. Now let's talk about those highly anticipated first-party titles. And those expectations for massive first-party titles was kind of hard to meet, at least in my opinion. Last year we got titles from the God of War, Horizon, and The Last of Us franchises. And that's a pretty good chunk of those big video game franchises that Sony has. So announcing even more on top of those titles leaves very little room for other big releases. And we already knew about Spider-Man 2, but while we got an amazing gameplay trailer, we have yet to get a concrete release date. I also want to say that trailer gave us so much to dive into, and especially Peter is rocking the symbiote suit. Kraven the Hunter also appears to be the big bad within this game, and Peter also mentions within a chase sequence that Dr. Connors, aka the Lizard, is the only person that can help Harry Osborn. Overall, it appears as if Sony is taking a different direction when it comes to releases. It seems as if they're focusing on live service titles that are multi-platform. And now, coming out of this event, Sony's first-party lineup post-Spider-Man 2 is just as mysterious as it was heading into this showcase. But as for a game I think is going under the radar, and for me to like this style of game is saying so much, but I loved the Plucky Squire. Something about it gave me that classic Nintendo platformer feel, but since the game is based on a children's pop-up book, the game walks between that 2D and 3D platforming world. Oh, and of course, Assassin's Creed Mirage got a gameplay trailer which looked crisp and really gave me hope the franchise is going back to that stealth-based gameplay and ditching those RPG aspects. We also got official word on some hardware being released. That being gaming earbuds, which I'm all for since wearing those big headsets after a while can be a little bit annoying, and that Project Q streaming handheld is in fact on the way. Now I think they really would have knocked it out of the park with this showcase if they said this console can play games natively like a Steam Deck. Instead, it's a purely streaming device like those Razer Edge consoles. But hey, it's nice to see they're dabbling in the handheld space once again. But with all that being said, I'm gonna pass this question off to you guys. What were your thoughts around this showcase? I know a lot of people are saying it's underwhelming, but I want to get your opinions on some of the games that they announced and some of the upcoming titles you're really looking forward to. But that about does it here. I've been Kalo. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.